everyone, this is Debbie from Project 39 Mini Albums, and welcome to Sandy's 13 Frights Before Halloween 2022. This week I am veering away from other paper crafts and doing some card making. I have had this stamp and die set for a while in my stash, and I sort of thought it was time to use it. It's my favorite things. I normally don't buy the dies, but I just thought these were really, I just wasn't in the mood to cut them when I bought them. I remember. And so I thought I would go ahead and spring for the dies. So I'm going to show you how I set everything up so I could color a bunch of these at once and get a whole bunch of these fun little creatures. And there's a tombstone. Here's another Frank. Here's a witch. Here's another Frank. There's a ghost. A pumpkin. There's a ghost. Here's a bat. So anyhow, I had a lot of fun coloring them, and I had a lot of fun putting them on cards. I also got out my Distress Oxide. I had one spray. I had a couple of colors of mica spray. And so I had fun making backgrounds. And you'll see, I don't know if I show you the process of making them, but I'm sure you've seen. And I'm not very good at it. I don't do it very often, but I sure have fun when I do play with it. So there's that. So anyhow, let me show you the couple of cards I made. The process that I'm going to show you is how I cut out and color a lot of these little guys all at once. The blending of the ink and all of that. I'm gonna show you a little bit, but I'm not going to show you everything because I am by no means an expert. So anyhow, let me show you what I got. All right, so here I'm showing you, I have left the dies all in the grouping that they came with. I have not cut them apart. I will eventually, but I'm showing you I'm cutting out a whole bunch. And I'm going to take that piece of gray cardstock and take the little stamps and put the stamps in where the hole is, so it makes it easy to cut out a bunch at once. Now, the important thing is that you lined it all up properly. What I should have done is cut it out, stamp it, and then cut it out and just make sure I was lined up properly. I ended up cutting about 8 sets of them with a little bat that was just a little wonky. But that's okay. It all ended up working out okay in the end. And don't throw out that the piece that we had the die on, because you'll use that later. Okay, so I show you that I made a bunch of sets, and then this is me coloring. Again, I am no expert at coloring, and I don't really have all that many alcohol ink markers, but I do have fun in coloring. I try to shade the darkest on the outside and then color the whole thing and then go back with the darkest again. It didn't necessarily work out that way because, again, I didn't have that many colors, but it was fun. So yeah, this is me showing you all the different little things that I did. All right, now here I'm placing that gray piece that I originally cut out all those little shapes with the die set and trying to make sure everything is centered. The bat down at the bottom is one of the only things that is not going to be perfect, so you sort of have to pick and choose your battles. Yep, there's the bat. So I decide, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to do the ones that will come out that I really need the die for, that the reason you get the die. So I tape down that gray piece and then I take the die set, and it's easy to find its home because it's got all those indentations from the gray piece. Things may shake a little while I'm doing this. Yeah, I have a hand crank. So let's see how it comes out. The moment of truth. Take off the gray cardstock. And now I'm going to save that gray cardstock with my set. So yeah, most of them came out okay. I think one had a little bit too much white on one side. But you know what? It's okay. You know what? It's better than fussy cutting. That's what I say. All right, let's make some cards now. They're so cute, aren't they? I saved some black and white so I can color later. So I am going to show you some of my alcohol ink playing around. So I'm starting with a Distress Oxide in black, and then I go to a blue. I think also part of the problem is I've probably had these since Distress Oxide came out, and they're not really that juicy anymore. I think a couple of the colors are okay. See, I get a lot more purple than I do anything else, so all of a sudden I put down the purple and it's more concentrated than I thought. You know, I'm not stressing out about it because these are just going to be the backgrounds, and I'm going to play around. Some of them I'm going to do different layers on. Some I'm going to just do water spots on just as a night sky. I'm going to also color some. I'm just going to use some for just some plain color backgrounds. You'll see. I'll show you a little bit later. And now I also have those small distress inks. They're not the oxides, but I have a yellow, a light orange, and a dark orange, which obviously is perfect for Halloween. I guess I have candy corn on my mind because I keep thinking, okay, I can make something that looks like candy corn. Of course, I know that there's white in the center of it, or on the top, I guess. I guess I just like the oranges. The only time of year I like the oranges. All right, I splattered a little, and I am taking my embossing gun because I don't have a heat tool. I have limited space, so I have to use what I can use, and I do my best. All right, now we're going to play along with adding some layers. So this is where I have fun. Again, I'm by no means an expert, but it's fun. I mean, it's sort of like when you're a kid and it's finger painting, but on a totally different level. So I just played with a couple of different groupings, and I figure I will find a way of making cards with all of these. By having all these different groupings of color, it'll have different looks to the cards, even if I put the same icons in the cards. So again, just having a little fun with it. Going with that orange and red. Here I have the gray. The middle color is a little muddy, but that's okay. On this one, I decided to start with a card I saw on Pinterest, and if you want to know more about the cards that I liked on Pinterest, I usually link my Pinterest account. But this is by Prairie Stampers. I forget exactly who made this one card that I saw, but I thought it was fabulous. And I figured, you know what, I'm going to just scrap lift the first one. And then after that, I'm just going to use my imagination, and whatever happens, happens. But I like the design of this. You just take 4 squares, and those, of course, I inked. I'm doing the sentiment now with some black paper, and I am embossing it with white embossing powder. And I am putting some layers. I'm taking this white piece and layering it up and putting that onto black. So yeah, they're really weird shapes, but you know, they make sort of like windows to put all these little critters. I play around with who goes where, make a little line for the spider, add a bat to the top. I will show you the finished card. I know it is out of frame there. We're a little better now. I'm adding some enamel dots. Sadly, I don't have very many enamel dots. I need to get some. So now I'm playing around with a couple of different other things to see what I have left. All right, now I'm just going to show you some of the other cards I made. You can usually tell if I used a die to cut a circle or whatever. And I just played around with the different colors and added it up. So I will show you the rest of the cards here. And that is what I have for today. Don't forget to check out all of the other people in the collab and come back next week to see what we made for Sandy's 13 Frights Before Halloween 2022. Thanks again for watching. Have a fabulous day.